Leaving the city area, we now move to a district with the unlikely name of Tophill Low. It is here, at the site of the River Hull abstraction works, that the Water Committee have a committee room. In the years following the last war, Hull's water supplies were extended to the limit, and in 1950, a systematic investigation of the River Hull was carried out to see if the city's further needs could be met from this source. The River Hull rises from chalk springs at villages within a few miles of Driffield, some 20 miles north of Hull. Typical of the gathering ground area is the village of Kirkburn. At first, it is hard to visualize how the area can possibly be the source of supply for the River Hull. But here, near this bridge, is one of the small streams which form the source of the river. At Emswell, away from the main roads, one soon finds evidence as to how the supply is built up from the various springs. From the springs, the crystal clear water runs shallowly over its chalk bed. By taking a vantage point on the old bridge and looking down the River Hull, we can see as far as the first lock on the old canal system, Hempholme Lock. From here to Hull, the river is tidal. The engineers decided it would be possible to take water from this point, purify it, and send it to the thirsty city. In 1956, work commenced on what is now known as the Tophill Low works. Inside the recording house, instruments are installed to measure river flow, which can vary between 15 and 500 million gallons a day. The parliamentary order provides for an average abstraction of 12 million gallons per day. There are 2 points at which the water leaves the river to start its journey through the works. One is situated 2 miles further upstream, and the other is here, only a short distance from the tilting weirs. In the low-lift pumping station and screen house are the necessary pumping gear and rotary drum-type screens, which effectively remove all debris. The water is transferred from the low-lift pumping station and stored in 2 reservoirs. This is number 1, with a capacity of 200 million gallons. Storage is necessary to meet periods of low river flow. The number 2 reservoir holds a further 170 million gallons. A good idea of the layout of the site can be obtained from the 2 models in the main entrance hall. Raw water from either of the reservoirs is fed into the axillators, the 2 circular constructions on the model. The object of the axillators is to effect sedimentation by coagulation, or in other words, to assist impurities to fall out of suspension. The coagulant used is aluminium sulfate. The cloudiness on the bottom is exactly the result intended. Water leaves the axillators through these channels or launders and is by now almost completely clear. Next it passes into the filter house. Here automation reigns supreme, and 6 automatic consoles each take charge of a rapid gravity filter. Each filter consists essentially of a bed of sand supported on a system of underdrains. As the water passes through the sand bed, all remaining impurities are removed. The filter beds are constantly being cleaned, and here, using manual operation for demonstration purposes, compressed air is released and blown up through the beds to clear out the sludge which is collected by the filters. Inspection of water clarity can be obtained on this display unit in the filter house. Below the ground here is a 5 million gallon reservoir for the treated water. This cutaway model illustrates its construction. The last treatment to ensure purity before the water passes to the city mains is a measure of chlorine, which is carefully metered on these instruments. In the main engine house are 5 high-lift pumps. Each one can pump 6 million gallons per day along the 11 miles of steel piping to the city of Hull. The power supply at Tophill Low can come either from the grid or these diesel alternators, which supply sufficient power to run the entire station. As most of the processes are carried out automatically, it needs only 2 men to attend to the running of the station on any one shift. But of course, there is more to running a station of this size and remoteness than the treatment of water. Living on the site in 15 houses are about 60 people, station operating staff and their families. Children are well catered for by the education authorities, who provide transport to and from school. Keeping a site of this size spick and span is a never-ending task. Tens of thousands of young trees are planted around the site, and in 20 years' time, areas now bare will be thickly wooded. The Hull Water Committee is looking well ahead, and schemes for the continuing development of the undertaking are always in hand to ensure that an abundant supply of water remains constantly on tap.